What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Open Table Sports Podcast, episode 22. Again, it is just me and Dom. Oh, wait. Who's that?
Oh, yeah. You guys already know. We're back.
Kevin is back.
Yes.
You might remember him from one of our daily recaps, but
Oh,
this is
yes.
the first time on the Open Table Sports Podcast, the
Let's get to
official
the bread.
on Fridays. He is having his cereal
And grape soda.
grape
Fuck
soda. Yeah. Dom again with the Yankees hat. How you doing, Dom?
Been a solid week. Started my soccer league this week. We won 3-0 to open the season, so feeling good.
Coming off fresh off the dub. I'm feeling great, dude. Just been chilling all week. Done with school, so ready to just get this bread.
Done with school, yeah. Dom and I have been done with school since like the first week of May.
Yeah.
So we've been chilling. We're going to get right into it today with the kickoff talk. The NBA Finals Game 1 thoughts last night. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was surprising.
I mean, I don't know. I thought the Warriors were probably going to sweep or maybe in 5 games, but I didn't think the Raptors – I wouldn't really call it a blowout. I would just – 100 to 94 – oh, no, wait. I'm looking at something else. 118 to 109. That's a pretty good win.
Yeah.
Warriors, especially in Game 1.
Yeah. That was a really good win for the Raptors. Definitely didn't expect that in Game 1. But I don't know. I feel like the Warriors are going to get their stuff back together for the next 4 games. I'm predicting. I'm really predicting Golden State to win the next 4.
That's what I'm saying. I'm feeling it's like a Boston thing. Like the Boston-Milwaukee series, how people got really high hopes for Boston after Game 1, and then they just got run off the court the next 4 games. I could see that happening in this series.
Even if the Raptors get up 2-0, I still think the Warriors could win.
Yeah.
Remember that the Warriors have games 3 and 4 on their home court. So even if the Raptors go up 2-0, the Warriors have the capability to easily win 2 in a row, 3 in a row, 4 in a row. So I'm not really that worried about the Warriors coming back. But
yeah, and they still don't have Durant either. Durant's still injured, so
yeah, he's going to be out for Game 2.
Yeah.
So if the Raptors do win Game 2, it's going to be heavily in their favor, but you still can't count out a Warriors team like that.
Exactly. I think it's really going to be based on how Lowry plays. Because if he plays well and Kawhi's on his game, that team can really make some noise. But if Kyle Lowry's off of his game, then Kawhi is great. Don't get me wrong, but a player can only carry for so long before it can't be enough. So.
And you can't even rule out Siakam. He scored 32 points in 39 minutes.
Yeah, he was like 80% something from the field last night.
Yeah, he hit 14 of 17, so
yeah,
he had a really good game. Van Fleet off the bench had 15 points.
Yeah. Yeah, Van Fleet has actually been low-key, really good for the Raptors off the bench this postseason. His regular season was kind of mediocre for the most part, but he's really stepped up off the bench, which is key because, how your bench plays in the postseason could be the make or break for you.
And you look at Lowry, he scored 7 points last night in 36 minutes. He went 2 of 9. 1 of 5 from 3-point land. He had 6 rebounds, 9 assists. He had 5 fouls, which didn't really help him at all.
Yeah.
Only 3 turnovers, which is pretty good for, a point guard.
Yeah.
Danny Green at 11 points. Marc Gasol had a good game, 20 points. He had 7 rebounds, 1 assist. Pretty good game. He fouled out, though, but what are you going to do?
Yeah.
It was a pointless foul out. It was like 30
Golden
seconds
State,
left.
Iguodala only had 6 points. Weird game for them. Curry had 34. Thompson, he only had 21. And then you look at Draymond Green, he only had 10 points.
Exactly.
But he had a triple-double. He went 10 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists.
Yeah, that is kind of a weird game for the Warriors because obviously, Curry going off. It's crazy to say, Thompson only with 21, but, we've seen a lot more from Thompson. So 21 is kind of like a low for him. And Draymond, him only getting 10 doesn't surprise me, but him getting the triple-double doesn't surprise me at all because that's usually what he does. He just gets boards and gets assists.
With Durant out, that Draymond was easily getting 20 points. Klay Thompson would be in the range of about 25, 30 maybe. But and then you look at their bench, their highest bench score was 9 points.
Yeah.
Here's the thing with these two teams. When you look at the Raptors, you look at your top two like Kawhi and Lowry, but then like outside of that, you still have shooters.
Exactly.
The Raptors are composed of shooters. The Warriors, outside of right now Curry and Thompson, you have no shooters.
Exactly.
Now,
I mean,
if
you have
look at
guys that
three-point
can't.
shooting from last night. Warriors shot 39 and Raptors shot 39. So they were basically the same. And then from the field, 51% from Toronto and 44% from Golden State. You look at free throws, Golden State only missed 2, and then Raptors missed 5. It's kind of weird how the Raptors won this game by 9 points.
Yeah, going to what Dom was saying about the Raptors having shooters and how the Warriors outside of Curry and Thompson, they don't really have anyone. I get what he's saying because there's a difference between having guys that can shoot and having shooters. I mean, Draymond, he's a guy that can shoot if he has to, but he's not a shooter.
Yeah.
But Curry and Thompson, they're shooters, and so I think that's really the main difference is that the Raptors have legit shooters who are known for shooting rather than guys that can't shoot if they're given the opportunity to.
Because toward the end of that game, Steph Curry was just trying everything he could because he was the only one that was able to shoot the ball at the end. And
exactly.
And I know he was just trying to get those cheap fouls and stuff. He did one time. He just lunged into Gasol on a 3.
I hate those fouls. I really hate those fouls.
Yeah,
where they lunge into him and try to initiate the contact. Because the point of that foul is to make sure the shooter has room to land. But if he changes his landing spot, then that's not fair to the defender who's staying where he's staying. But the shooter decides to change where his landing spot is.
Yeah, the Warriors were just getting desperate at the end of that game, and I was feeling like they were going to come back, and then they just couldn't make a stop on defense.
Exactly. And I think, not having Durant was also a part of that because Durant, I mean, yeah, he's 6'9", but really he's, 7 foot, and his wingspan's insane, and his defense is extremely good, whether people want to believe or not. And not having Durant in there on the defensive side of things really hurt them, especially down low.
I mean, I think Kevin Durant's the best player in the NBA right now. Like, right now, Kevin Durant's the best player in the NBA. So, yeah, just losing him is just so big. And,
exactly.
I mean, even if he doesn't come back, I think the Warriors still win the series. But, I mean, if he does come back, starting in Game 3, I could see them winning 3 or 4 right in a row.
Yeah. Do you guys think that whether the Warriors win the series or not, do you think Durant leaves basically no matter what at the end of this or no?
I think he's gone. I mean, I saw the thing where he already sold his house in California and he bought 2 or 3 condos in New York. Who knows if that's true or what's going on with that? I heard that back in December, didn't know if it was true, kind of blew it off. Then it's starting to reemerge right now, so I'm starting to think maybe it is true. But I just did the math on the Raptors 3-point shooting, and their bench was 2 of 8 from 3-point. And then they were 11 of 25, their starters from 3.
Yeah, so
yikes.
But if you look at the Raptors bench, they played 4 people, but McCaw only had 6 minutes and Powell only had 4 minutes. So, and then you look at Golden State's bench, they played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys off their bench. 1 guy had 1 minute.
Jesus.
Right. But, Kevon Looney had 28. But you'd think if you play, 7 guys off your bench, I'll do the math. I'll be right back. 3, 9.
Because most of the time having a deep bench, most of the time it helps you in the long run because you can switch guys in and out and get guys breaks and then needed rest. And most of the time the team that doesn't have a deep bench usually can't win in the long run. But obviously it's only one game, so we'll see what happens. But most of the time having a deep bench is what helps you down the stretch.
Yeah, especially for the Warriors, if Steph Curry comes off the court when Durant's, on the court, you're fine.
Exactly.
You still got Durant out there. Or vice versa, if Durant needs a rest, Curry's still out there for, shooting. But, you just can't sit out there with Andre Iguodala. You just can't rely on him to do much.
Yeah, and we see what happens when you have a deep bench, and we've seen that with LeBron and all of his teams, because we saw at the beginning of his career when he was on the Cavs back in the mid-2000s, there wasn't anybody else. It was LeBron and a bunch of bums. And you saw that, they only went so far with that team because it was only LeBron. But then when he goes to Miami with Bosh and D Wade and other guys off the bench as well, like Chalmers and Norris Cole and those guys, and Ray Allen, it helped him a lot because if he was on the bench, they had guys that could back him up. Same thing when he went back to Cleveland when he had Kyrie and Kevin Love and all those guys. Like he was able to sit on the bench and let them do their work and get himself a rest. And then when he came back, he was fresh and he was ready to go.
Yeah.
So I just did the math on this. So the Warriors bench had 36 points, and the Raptors bench had 25 points.
Yeah, that's a 9-point.
And 15 of those 25 came from Van Fleet. Ibaka had 5, McCall had 3, and Powell had 2. So,
yeah, definitely a strange game. I think why the Warriors lost was because they didn't have Durant. I think Durant was honestly the difference because he definitely would have gotten 9 points to make up that 9-point.
Because Andre Iguodala had 6.
Yeah, I mean, Iguodala, he's been there I don't know how long, and he was the starter for a while, and then he kind of became that 6-man role off the bench, but he can't carry the load.
Iguodala has been there since 2013.
Mm-hmm.
He's old.
Yeah, he's old. He can't carry the load as he used to as he was able to before.
Over his career with Golden State, he hasn't averaged over 10 points at all. His highest was that 2013 season where he averaged 9.3 points. Then it went down to 8 and then 7, back up to 8, 6, and then 6 again this season. So,
yeah.
But even if you look at him, he's never been a crazy scorer. His highest average of points in a season was 2007, where he averaged 20 points. So, I mean, Iguodala has never really been a crazy scorer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think that's why you need Durant in, because he could score and play good defense.
Exactly. Because
if Durant was playing this game, they definitely would have won.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because 9 points, Durant definitely would have made that up. No problem.
So let me get back to our script here. Who do you think wins Game 2 Sunday in Toronto?
Honestly, I'm thinking the Warriors bounce back. Because that first game was kind of weird for him, and they didn't play bad, but they didn't play good as well. Like Draymond only had 10, Clay only had 21, Curry had 34, which isn't a surprise. But I feel like they didn't play bad enough to where you're kind of worried about them, but they didn't play good enough either. So, but I think they'll bounce back in Game 2.
Yeah. The Warriors are going to win Game 2, then they're going to win 3 and 4, and then put Toronto down 3-1 going back home.
All right. So if Durant is out, I have the Raptors winning again, going up 2-0. And I say when they leave and go back to Toronto the next time, I say it's 2-2.
The only thing that could sway me to Toronto winning is that Kawhi Leonard did absolutely nothing in Game 1. So
also, people are overlooking that Cousins is back too. No one is talking about that. Once he was activated, everyone was like, "Oh, I mean, he got 8 minutes. Okay, cool." But who knows what's going to happen? He's going to get more minutes as the series goes on. So the longer the series goes, Durant could come back and Cousins will be full strength. So basically, the longer it goes, the Raptors are more in trouble. So they have to win now. And I'm sure that's what the players are talking about. So they're going to want to win now, win early. So I think they're going to win on Sunday.
Yeah, the Warriors are only going to get stronger as the series goes. So
yeah.
That's what I got. Raptors Game 2. I might be driving up to Toronto for that game on Sunday.
Oh, boy.
I know. Me and Mike Robb might be going up there. So next we're going to get into are the Houston Rockets opening up shop? They are. They said that all their future picks are open, and basically their whole entire roster is open. Now, obviously, the first name that comes to mind is James Harden. Do you guys think they would trade him for the right price?
I don't know. I feel like they would, but at the same time, I feel like they wouldn't. I don't know what Houston's doing. I think it's time for them to open up shop because they've been at the same point for I don't know how many years, and they just can't seem to get over the hump. And I think getting rid of Harden, just resetting the whole thing would probably be the best for him.
Yeah,
both for Harden and the Rockets.
They would trade Chris Paul for the right price. No one's going to want his contract at his age.
Yeah.
So, if anything, I could honestly see a trade going down to the Lakers. I could see Chris Paul and Clint Capella going to the Lakers. I'll give you the Rockets roster. So if we talk about guys and you haven't heard of them, I'll give it to you right now. Their point guard position, Chris Paul and Austin Rivers. So if they do trade Chris Paul, they're going to have to get a point guard back.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I'm saying. If they trade them to the Lakers, they're probably going to get Lonzo Ball back. So then you look at shooting guard position, James Harden, Iman Shumpert. If they do trade James Harden, obviously they're going to have to get a top person back.
Yeah.
And then small forward, Eric Gordon, Gerald Green. I could see them trading Eric Gordon, no problem.
Yeah.
Gerald Green, no problem. But no one's going to want Gerald Green. He's on the older side. He has 13 years in the league. That's the same amount of years as Chris Paul.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But no one's going to want Gerald Green. Not what he used to be. But Eric Gordon, people are going to want his defense and his three-point shooting, definitely. You look at power forward, PJ Tucker and Daniel House. Nothing crazy there. People might want PJ Tucker as well. Again, three-point shooting and defense. You look at center; they are stacked at center. Clint Capella, Kenneth Faried, and Nene. No one's going to want Nene easily. He's not a trade chip. Maybe Kenneth Faried, but I could see them trading Clint Capella and Chris Paul.
Chris Paul, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And let me look at the Lakers. They could easily get back Lonzo Ball, maybe Brandon Ingram. Because if they want to trade they could trade the Lakers James Harden if they want to as well. You could do James Harden and Clint Capella or Chris Paul and James Harden. Who knows? But they can easily get back Brandon Ingram. Could go back. Kuzma. There were talks of maybe LeBron James being traded. We talked about that a couple weeks ago, Dom.
Yeah.
There.
Nice Wawa Icy.
Yeah. Honestly, I would not be surprised to see the Lakers and Rockets trade because both teams are just kind of a crapshoot right now, especially the Lakers and all of that stuff going on over there. I wouldn't be surprised to see, anybody go each way, either to Houston or to LA. So
if we see a blockbuster here, what if we see Lonzo, Brandon Ingram, and LeBron for Capella, Paul, and Harden?
Oh boy.
We could a sleeper team, the Knicks. Knicks trade for James Harden.
That could be. That would be. Now I got to go look at the Knicks and see what they could give up for him.
They trade the number 3 pick.
They're in talks for that number 3 pick. They might be trading it to the Hawks for their 2 first-rounders. But you could look. Definitely going to have to give up Knox. Probably going to have to give up Ntilikina because Ntilikina already wants out. We talked about that last week. So definitely Ntilikina, Kevin Knox. I don't even know who else. I mean, there's really no one with crazy trade value here.
The
Maybe
number 3
Dotson, Damian Dotson, Ntilikina, and Kevin Knox, and our 3rd rounder for James Harden.
Yeah, and then you sign Kevin Durant, and then you won't have enough. You probably won't have the money to get Kyrie Irving.
You could probably pick up like a lower level power forward, like Tobias Harris or something like that.
Tobias would be a good pickup right there.
But as we talked about a couple weeks ago, Dom, there were tons of guys. I think that was our last podcast at the studio. We talked about the free agents of the NBA this offseason, and it's stacked. So Knicks are going to have a lot of money to play with and a lot of players to play with. So
I had a dream last night that the Knicks did get Kyrie and Kevin Durant. Had a dream that it was an
I don't think they need a point guard. I love Dennis Smith Jr. to be honest.
He is good. He is really good.
I'm excited for the Knicks to be honest. Because they have a lot of cash to really just kind of deal out. And I feel like they're gonna have a big offseason, but at the same time, I feel like with that potential, it comes with also a big flop too. Because how the NBA is, anything can happen in a matter of 24 hours. So.
I'd like Dennis Smith Jr. He averaged 15 points in his rookie season. And then in 21 games with the Knicks, he averaged 15 points as well. So I think that's solid for a player in his first 2 years, averaging 15 points a game.
And then if he gets Kevin Durant, I mean, he'll just get better.
Yeah, honestly, I feel the move for the Knicks would be to get Durant, but not go for Kyrie. Because Kyrie, you're getting older. You saw he was injury prone this past season, and he's not the same Kyrie that he was in Cleveland. And I feel like getting Kyrie for the Knicks, I don't feel like in the long run that'd be the best move for him, especially with cash and his injury prone and all that other stuff.
That's what I'm saying. I don't really think a point guard is of need because you have Dennis Smith, even Emmanuel Mudiay behind him. I know he's not the craziest,
not the best, but
he played 59 games last season and averaged 15 points a game. And he averaged 27 minutes.
Yeah, it's really good,
Yeah.
That's good for our backup point guard. He started a couple games here and there, but mainly he was our backup for the last 21 games of the season. So if you look at it, and that's his highest average in his career, 13 points, 11 points, 8, and now 15 all of a sudden with the Knicks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a Moutier Smith tandem at point guard, I think that's good.
Yeah.
And then Damian Dotson, you could trade him. I really don't. He has good trade value, but then you look at Alonzo Trier, who was undrafted. You look at 11 points, and he averaged 22 minutes a game, basically off the bench for Trier.
Yeah.
Started a few games here and there. He shot 40% from three-point land and 45% from field goal, and then he shot 80% from the free throw line, and he still averaged 2 assists and 3 rebounds a game.
That ain't too shabby.
I think Alonzo Trier could be a good starter in the future, and then you look at Damian Dotson, who had a good stretch, down the end of the season. So he played 73 games.
That's a good sample size. Yeah.
He averaged 27 minutes and 11 points per game.
Yeah, I think the Knicks power forward is the biggest need, and I think if you get Tobias Harris, that's a steal.
I think forward as a whole is a big need because Kevin Knox, yeah, he's good. He was very inconsistent, though.
Yeah.
Then they got Luke Cornett, Mario Hezonja, and then Lance Thomas. Forward as a whole is just a big need for this team. I think they're fine at center. Mitchell Robinson, he could probably be a top 5 center in the next 5 years. Easily. And then you have DeAndre Jordan behind him, Noah Vonleh.
I forgot about DeAndre Jordan.
He's going to be a free agent, though, but there's been talks that they might re-sign him.
Yeah.
So I think easily the Knicks could be in play. Maybe they trade for Eric Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe PJ Tucker. Great defensive pieces. So I could see the Knicks, and plus Eric Gordon can shoot the 3, which this Knicks team needs.
Yeah.
It needs. They need shooters. So, I mean, they could just trade for Eric Gordon by himself. Who knows? I do not see them trading for a top point guard unless they're getting rid of guard is not a need for them, in my opinion. Ntilikina, Dennis Smith Jr., Emmanuel Mudiay, even Kadeem Allen, who's coming up. He's a sleeper as well. And then you have Damian Dotson, Alonzo Trier. It's not top big names. It's a lot of young guys. Like, look at these guys in the league. 1 year, 1 year, 3 years, 1 year, 1 year, rookie. So, I mean, it's like, their most experienced guy is Mudiay, and he's their second, third string point guard.
Yeah.
So, I don't see them trading for a top point guard or signing Irving. If they do sign Irving, then they're probably going to have to trade away guards, which would probably be for James Harden or maybe even and Anthony Davis.
Maybe they sign Klay Thompson.
Who knows? I mean, Knicks are that team like the Colts this year.
They have money to play with. They could basically get whoever they want.
Yeah, it's like the Colts and the Browns. They still have money right now, but they're just saving it.
The Colts didn't do much in the offseason with all that money.
You got to be smart with it.
So, I mean, Knicks are probably a viable trade piece for the Rockets. I mean, maybe they get Chris Paul and then give them Mudiay, Ntilikina, Kevin. Who knows?
I mean, just imagine having Kevin Durant and Anthony Davis if they were to trade for him. Like,
oh, yeah.
Well, imagine if they had James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Russell Westbrook.
That would be insane.
All right. So, Rockets opening up shop. We'll go with our predictions. Who do you think they trade?
Ooh. Tom, you go first.
I think honestly they might say James Harden's like open, but I doubt they trade James Harden.
Yeah.
I could see Chris Paul gone. I could see Shumpert gone. And Eric Gordon could be gone. I think those 3 are going to be the big 3 that they kind of play with in trading.
Yeah, I see Chris Paul and Capella gone, and probably Eric Gordon as well. Those are my big 3 right there.
And you also got to look. They said their picks are available too, so they might even be looking to add. So who knows? Maybe they get Anthony Davis.
Exactly.
Maybe they give up PJ Tucker, Kenneth Faried, 2 firsts, and they send that to the Pelicans, and they get Anthony Davis. Then you're looking at Chris Paul, James Harden, Anthony Davis, and Clint Capella, and they still keep Eric Gordon.
Yeah.
That could win the title. I'm telling you.
That'd be a deadly squad. Barring no injury.
The West is wide open next season. I mean,
depending on what the Warriors do.
Yeah. If the Warriors
are still going to have money next season.
Yeah.
So they could still end up re-signing everyone and adding at the same time.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel if the Warriors lose Durant, which they probably will, I feel they'll definitely shake up the West. I think it'll be a little bit more of an open race. I think the Warriors will still have the upper hand, but I think it'll definitely be a better, competition for that Western Conference. With Clay leaves too, that's huge. That really opens up the door for anybody in the West to make a run next year and kind of end the Warriors streak of their reign in the West. So
yeah,
they could really be left with just Curry and Green.
Exactly.
Like, there's still a possibility.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't be surprised to see Boogie leave as well for Golden State, especially if they win the whole thing this year. He's probably going to be out because he signed the one-year deal, obviously just to get the ring. Because I don't know why else you'd sign a one-year deal unless you're trying to get a ring. So if they get the ring, the Warriors could very easily be left with just Curry and Draymond, which is honestly
maybe they trade with the Warriors, Rockets. Maybe they trade Draymond Green. Maybe they get back Eric Gordon and Clint Capella.
Yeah, which honestly would be kind of ironic if they were left with Curry and Green, because those were one of their 2 draft picks to kind of build this team. Because you had Curry coming out of Davis, and then you had Draymond Green coming out of Michigan State. So it'd be kind of
Clay came out of Washington State as well.
Exactly. So it'd be kind of ironic if they were left with with the 2 probably quote unquote building blocks, you could say.
Yeah.
I don't know. Definitely going to be interesting to see what happens with the Rockets. My prediction, they trade no players, but they trade picks for Anthony Davis.
I could definitely see that.
Anthony Davis or someone else, but I'm just saying they keep their players, but they trade their picks. They might trade a couple players just to get, maybe a bigger name, but I don't think they're going to trade Paul just because of his contract.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to trade Harden just because he's too big of a player to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say out of all of their players, maybe Clint Capella, but he's just too young and too much of a rising star to trade.
Yeah.
So I don't think they trade any of those 3. Maybe they trade Gordon. Maybe they trade Tucker, Shumpert, maybe one of those role players, but I don't think they trade anyone big of their big 3.
Yeah.
But that's my prediction. Next, we're going to get into the Stanley Cup Finals thoughts and outlook so far with the series tied 1-1 between the Bruins and the Blues. We head back to St. Louis. What are your thoughts, Dom?
Oh, big win for the Blues game 2.
I love that game.
Big win for them. Now you go to game 3 back, going to go to St. Louis.
Yep.
And you get a couple games at home. I'm telling you, I think the Blues could win both these games, go up 3-1.
I hope that. I mean, even if it's 2-2, I still have the Blues. Remember what I said? I said Blues are either going to sweep, that's out, or they're going to win in 7.
Yeah.
So
it could happen. I think that's a good prediction at this point. It's been a very close series.
And I gave you my math last week on why.
Yeah. So the sweep streak won't continue, but that 7-game series streak could. And I think the Blues, right now, both series, NBA and NHL, we could be looking at upsets because the Bruins and the Warriors came in as huge favorites in both.
And 2 teams that basically the whole country hates.
Yeah,
the whole country hates Boston teams, and the whole country basically hates the Warriors. So, I mean, you're looking at 2 teams that are the country hates. It's crazy. But even if you look at this Stanley Cup series so far, 2 games in, 1-1. Boston won the first game 4-2, and then St. Louis won 3-2 in the second game. So what are we looking at for a third, fourth game? There's got to be a blowout coming soon because there's no way that games 1 and 2 can be this. Usually you have in every series, there's always that one game where someone gets blown out.
Yeah. I'm not sure when that game will be because I thought that was going to be the first game the way St. Louis went up 2-0, and then Boston scores 4 unanswered goals.
That's reminiscent to the Rangers.
That game.
That was reminiscent to the Rangers back in 2015, where they kept going up 2-0 against the Kings every game and then blowing it.
Yeah. So I think I don't know when that blowout game is gonna come because those 2 games they're both very good games, very exciting, especially the second game with a win in OT for St. Louis. So
see, this crowd is going to be electric in Game 3. The St. Louis crowd is going to be electric. But the thing is, I mean, I hate to bring it to baseball, But like you think the Yankees won Game 2 against the Red Sox, they were pumped up. You know, the crowd is electric, and then they lost 16-1.
Yeah.
So
And I was
maybe
at that game.
that could be the Blues. I mean, if they don't control it right and they give up, you know, a goal or two right at the beginning, like this game could get out of hand in Game 3.
Yeah, I don't know.
They play tomorrow, Saturday. Boston's favored. They play at 8 o'clock in St. Louis. Raucous crowd. I wish I could go to that, but it's just way too far. I mean, I love going to sporting events and all that, but Tuukka Rask has really been the MVP probably the entire playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
Which no one would have thought. I mean, he's arguably one of the worst goaltenders in the league, and he's just stepping up, you know, when it counts, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. That Game 2 win for the Blues, that was insane because there's always a game that, you know, it's that toss-up game where, like, if you don't win this game, then you could easily just lose the series in that one game. And I think Game 2 was the game that the Blues had to win because it was the second game coming off of a tough loss where you won or where you up 2-0 in the first game, then you had 4 unanswered goals in that Game 2. I think it was huge because it's on the road, big playoff game, and you know that if you win.
What did you mute yourself?
All right. Well, I mean, I don't know what happened with Kevin there, but
I think he muted himself.
But yeah, you got that Game 2. If they,
we're going to be talking about this next week, unless the Blues or the Bruins win the next 3, because you got what'd you do?
Oh boy,
my
mom called me.
3 tomorrow, Monday 4, and then Thursday 5. Unless someone wins the next 3 in a row, we're going to be talking about this next Friday.
Yep.
So, you think the Bruins or the Blues could win the next 3 in a row?
No, I just think it's too even for that to happen. I think it was huge for the Blues to get Game 2. If they don't win Game 2 there, I'm giving it a little doubt of them winning the series.
I think they should have won Game 1 though when they went up 2-0.
Yeah, they definitely
it should be 2-0 right now.
Yeah.
So that's why I have no problem with the Blues winning the next 2 at home.
See, if the Blues don't win this series and they lose maybe in a Game 7, they're going to look back in Game 1 and say, well, we should have taken that. And
it
would have been over already.
Yeah, they really should have. They were up 2-0 and then 4 unanswered goals. It's tough, but, you know, that's the way.
It's kind of like how Vegas should have won Game 7 in the first series.
Yeah.
And then, you know, 4 straight goals just come out of nowhere because of a bad call. I mean,
I think you were over my house for that one, Dom.
Oh, yeah, no, that was ridiculous because we were saying, oh, this game's over. It's 4-0 or 3-0. Like, this game's over. Or it's 4-0 or something. And then they got 4 goals on the power play on the 5-minute major. It's funny because even Pavelski, who got hit, said it was a bad call, but
Kevin said it kicked me out of the call. He's still here. Whatever, we'll find out. So next we're going to go to the Yankees are the front runners for starting pitcher Dallas Keuchel. But do they need him really?
Oh, it's interesting because, you know, they keep going to these bullpen days where Chad Green starts, and then it's just kind of you're using up your bullpen a lot. But, you know, it's interesting. It's just it can't hurt to get him, but it's not a necessity to get him. Because, I mean, you got Severino on the way back. You know, the only thing I'd get him for really is, I guess, if you wanted to run a 6-man rotation, but
then you have to remember Montgomery's coming back.
Yeah, I'm interested. We're looking at August for him, I'm assuming.
I've heard June or July. I've heard possibly June, early July. So I mean, because he's been throwing for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Montgomery was getting really good, and I mean, I think he's got a lot of upside.
He reminds me of Kershaw. I mean, he's tall. He's not a strength pitcher. He's a finesse pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
A lefty. I mean, he's really good.
Yeah.
He played 29 games in 2017 for the Yankees, and he had a 3.88 ERA. He went 9-7 with a 1.23 WHIP.
Yeah,
he gave up 140 hits and 155 innings pitched.
Oh yeah, no,
that's good for a rookie year.
Yeah, definitely.
So I mean, plus a 9-7 win-loss, and then you look at 2018, he played 6 games, 3.62 ERA, and then his win-loss was 2-0, a little bit higher WHIP, but he didn't play as much, so that's why. But he's a great pitcher, in my opinion. I mean, in his first 2 years, 3.84 ERA, that's good for a pitcher who played, 35 games.
And you know what I would do? If when he comes back, I'd throw him in as that long reliever.
Bingo. I also said he could probably be traded as well if we want to get Bumgarner or someone else.
I think if you bring him back, because you already have your 5-man rotation when Severino comes back, you just leave him, for the rest of the season to control his innings and everything. You just have him be like that long reliever that they've been using like Luis Sessa for. You just replace Sessa or Nestor Cortez with Jordan Montgomery for the season, and then going into next season, he'll have a little more strength and arms, built back up to be a starter next year if they don't trade him.
Yeah, I don't think they should rush him back, but
there we go.
Montgomery, he's still a good lefty, though, in my opinion. I don't think you need to spend big money on Keuchel when you have someone, like Montgomery. I mean, he's coming back. He could fill that void. You already have Tanaka, Paxton, Happ, Germán. 4 guys right there. CeCe's coming back on Sunday. Severino's going to be back after the All-Star break. Do you need Keuchel? No. I mean, we could easily get him with the money we have, but he's not a huge need in my opinion, because you're going to have CeCe coming back on Sunday. That goes back to a 5-man rotation. As long as they stay healthy, you're fine until about June. Then Montgomery comes back, and then you have Severino. Then you run into that problem. If you do sign Keuchel, then you're going to have Tanaka, Paxton, Happ, Germán, CeCe Sabathia, Johnny Lasagna, Jordan Montgomery, Luis Severino, and Dallas Keuchel. What the hell are you going to do? You can't send Tanaka down. You can't send Paxton down. You can't send Happ down. You can't send CeCe. Montgomery, maybe you can. You can't send Severino down. The only people I could see is Lasagna, but Germán is doing too good that you can't send him down.
Yeah.
So then you're looking at Tanaka, Paxton, Happ, Germán, CeCe, Severino, and that's still 7 guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those good problems. Again, you really don't need Dallas Keuchel, but I mean, if you add him, it's not the end of the world. Like it's a win-win situation. You don't get him, like, okay, you save some money and you're getting your starters coming back. If you get him, then you get that experience, and he's a good arm. Especially he'd be good for like the postseason.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to trade Happ to a contender, probably the Phillies, probably the Braves, a team that needs a starting pitcher. I know Happ isn't doing amazing, but Happ, teams are going to need a veteran starter to go into the playoffs with. I would trade him to a National League contender. Maybe the Brewers, my Brewers, who knows?
The Tigers.
So my little Brewer shot glass looks like a mug. But Big Daddy got this for me, actually.
Oh, yeah?
But I would trade Happ to a contender, get a top prospect back, because Happ, I don't know how much you can get back for him. Maybe you get like a bench role player. Who knows?
He's just way too inconsistent for the Yankees.
Or you could pair someone with Happ and get a good player back. You can easily give Happ, maybe you could do Happ and Montgomery in the same package, but I would trade away Happ and trade away Montgomery, send Johnny Lasagna down. Then you just have Tanaka, Paxton, Germán, CeCe, and Severino. That's still 5 solid guys in your rotation.
Yeah.
But maybe you could still sign Keuchel, but that's the only way I would do it. Mm-hmm. But even if you put someone in the bullpen, there's going to be no place for them. You got Britton, Ottavino, Holder, Canley, Chad Green, Luis Sessa. Betances comes back soon. And then you have Chapman. So that's already, basically 8 solid guys. And then you have Ben Heller coming back as well. And David Hale, who's
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's really no place for anyone to move down in the bullpen. So, I don't know. It's going to be a tough decision. But the only place the Yankees could go is trading guys. They got too many veterans on this starting pitching rotation to just send down into the minors.
Yeah, no, you can't do that. I think for this, I think they just need to get the starters back so they stop doing this opener stuff because it's not working.
Yeah, and don't forget that Luis Sessa he was supposed to be a starting pitcher. So if we do need someone, because we already have a long reliever in there, Chad Green can easily go 2-3 innings. Luis Sessa can easily go 4 if we need him to. Britton can go 2 if we ask him. Ottavino, he showed that he can go over, an inning. Holder, I've seen him go 2-3 innings. So I mean, we really don't need a long reliever in the bullpen. We just need to figure out what the fuck is going on with the starting pitching.
Yeah.
So it's a good problem to have. Do we need him? No. Would we like him? Obviously, but we're going to run into a huge problem if we do get him.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think we sign Keuchel there, Dom?
No, I don't think we do.
I don't think we do either. What about you, Kevin, if we could hear you?
Oh, man. You guys hear me right now?
Yes.
All right. Well, I don't know.
Can you hear him?
I don't see the Yankees signing him.
Is he there? I don't think he's there.
Hello?
Kevin
You
has
guys
left
hear
the
me?
building.
Dom, you hear me?
His first and last.
I got him. I got him.
Dom,
What
you
is
hear
he
me?
saying?
All right. All right, here we go. I think the Yankees.
All right. So, Kevin, mute yourself and then unmute yourself. Because I just muted him on here from the entire thing. So now he has to mute himself and then unmute himself. Kevin?
Oh,
Yeah, you guys hear me?
Oh,
Oh. Am I there?
Are you with
I
us?
hear him. I hear him.
I can't hear him.
Bruh.
You're gonna have to translate for me.
All right.
So next we're gonna get into the updated MLB standings.
Here come the Tigers.
What are your thoughts on the season so far, Kevin, who I can't hear, and Dom, who I can hear?
Oh, man. Dom, you go and go first since he can hear you.
Well, you look at these teams. The Twins having the best record. I don't think we expected them to be this good this far into the season.
Best record in baseball. I mean, their run differential is plus 101. That's the best in major. No one else is plus 100. I don't think. No one else is plus 100. The next highest is plus 92 with Houston, but that's definitely going to change after all the injuries they have. I mean, they're depleted. Let me go to Houston now that we're talking about it. They have Carlos Correa out, Aledmus Diaz, Max Stassi, George Springer, Colin McHugh, Jose Altuve, Lance McCullers, and Joe Smith.
Yeah.
Their bullpen's depleted, and their infield is just a wreck. So, I mean, man. And let's look at their schedule coming up. Next, they have Oakland, which is pretty decent. They've been kind of hot. Good thing they have an easy schedule coming up because they got Oakland, who's like a mid-tier team right now.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle, who's at the beginning of the season looked like the best team ever in the world in the history of baseball.
And now they are 11 games under 500 and last.
So, and then they have Orioles, and then they have 2 games against my Brewers. So, hopefully they hit the Brewers when guys are still – well, Correa is still going to be out. Altuve's probably going to return during the Seattle stint. But who knows what's going to happen with the Astros. Good thing their next 3 series are against, sub-500 teams. Except for, the Athletics, who looked like they were awful, and then they won 10 games in a row.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't know what was up with them. I still can't hear Kevin. I don't know if he's talking. I could be talking over him.
I think he can hear you, but he can't hear him.
He could probably hear me. I can't hear him at all. I don't know why.
He can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear Matt.
Let me know if he's talking, and I'll stop talking when he's done. People listening to the podcast, I don't know if they could hear, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, and we'll see. But I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe I have to.
Let me do a quick test. See if the people can hear.
Sound check. I'll continue talking. I'll go. But the Twins, being the best team in baseball, we had them as our American League sleeper team, but not this big of a sleeper team. You got the Yankees, second in the AL, plus 74 run differential, 8-2 in their last 10, 36 and 19. Man, they have just been something else. So many injuries. Everyone thought they were going to be done. Jake Barrett, CC Sabathia, who's coming back. Miguel Andujar done for the season. Johnny Lasagna, Greg Bird, Dylan Batanzas, Luis Severino, Aaron Judge, Jacoby Ellsbury, who's basically not even on the team. Didi Gregorius, Troy Tulowitzki, Ben Heller, Giancarlo Stanton, Jordan Montgomery. Insane amount of injuries. If you look at it, Barrett doesn't really matter. CC's back on Sunday, and Duhar's done for the year. Johnny Lasagna, he'll be back soon. Oh no, wait, he was on the 60 DL, right? Just give me a thumbs up.
Yeah. No, I just did the sound check. The people can hear Kevin. You're the only one that can't hear him.
I don't know why. But Greg Bird, I don't know when he'll be back. But Tanz is probably not till July.
Who cares about Greg Bird?
Severino, I would trade. I don't know. I want to trade Greg Bird so bad. I said that last year. I said it the year before. I don't know. But and then you got Houston as the third spot. Who knows what's going to happen with them? Then you look at the wild card. Tampa Bay, Boston, and Oakland. But Tampa Bay is a 7-game lead over the rest. Boston and Oakland are tied for that second wild card spot. I know it's early, everyone. I know we're talking about stuff that probably shouldn't be talked about right now. We have nothing else to talk about. We could sit here. We could talk about anything in the world right now because we have nothing from this week. No trades, no big signings. We have nothing.
Here come the Tigers.
At all.
We could talk about the Tigers over here.
Tigers. 21 and 32 with a negative 94 run differential. Holy shit.
Hey, man.
They're still 21 and 32. Guess how many games back in the wild card they are without looking?
25.
He said 25.
6.5 games in the wild card. And they're 21 and 32. And they're 6.5 games back.
September
Welcome to
push.
the American League, ladies and gentlemen.
You say September push.
September
push. Let's look at the Tigers real quick. Matthew Boyd, who's having a good season. I have him on my fantasy team. I love him. Daniel Norris, Ryan Carpenter. They've basically been bullpenning a bunch of games because they only have 3 healthy starting pitchers. Fulmer's out for the year. Matt Moore, Tyson Ross, who will be back soon. Jordan Zimmerman, that's a big loss for them. The bullpen, their bullpen's actually not that bad in my opinion.
Shane Green?
Shane Green. We're hearing some Shane Green.
Shane Green?
I have him on my fantasy team. The bullpen is not that bad. It's
surprisingly
good.
That's actually the opposite of what the Tigers
it's just a young team.
Yeah.
That's a young team until you look at the first baseman.
He's actually having a good year.
Yeah, he's just not hitting for power. That's really
he's having a pretty good year. He's hitting 290 this season.
Yeah, he's just not hitting for power. That's
really no power from Miguel Cabrera this year.
Yeah, he's just hitting.
Yeah, no power, but he's hitting 290. I'll take
it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll take it all day.
It's just a young team. They need some direction, but they also have a good number of injuries as well, mainly in their starting pitching. And Josh Harrison and Jody Mercer are out as well. We'll get into Josh Harrison a little bit later as he's going to be on our quick pitch. But Tigers are just a mess. They've been a mess the past couple of years. And it's funny because in 2012, they were in the American League Conference Series.
Yeah, they made it to the World
2013.
Series.
Well, yeah,
they made it to the World Series. I don't know, but they're a mess.
2013, the Red Sox. And then
I don't know. All the Detroit teams are a mess right now.
Big Poppy!
I don't know what else. I don't know what to say. It's like New York sports, with the exception of the Yankees. Other than them, Islanders, they're not really a New York City team. I mean, they're a Long Island team. That's why they're called the Islanders, everyone. And they're not even supposed to be playing in Brooklyn.
Here come the Islanders.
Yeah, no, they shouldn't. No, I'm looking at the standings. One surprising stat I'm looking at: the whole NL Central has positive run differential, except the Pittsburgh Pirates, who have a negative 69, and they are third in the division, 1 game under 500.
Here come the Pirates.
It's weird.
The Cardinals have the same record, but have a plus 14 run differential.
I don't know.
That is an 83 run differential swing for the same record.
I don't know. Brewers are looking good. 5-5 in their last 10, but we're a half game out of the first place. I'm really not, thrilled with them right now, but I'm content with where they are. Especially we have Pittsburgh right now. They're not good. And then we have Miami, and then we have Pittsburgh, and then we have a 2-game series against Houston, depending on where they are. And then we have the Giants, and then we have the Padres, and then we have the Reds, and then we have the Mariners, and then we have Pittsburgh again. So, I mean, we have an easy month coming up, and then you look at July, which is fairly easy as well. We have the Reds, and then we have the Pirates, and then we have the Giants.
This is looking like the Patriots schedule every year.
I'm telling you. But then we hit a little bit of a hard skid because we do hit the Braves. But then after that, we have the Diamondbacks, Reds, and then the Cubs, good, and then Oakland after that. So, I mean, we really have an easy next 2 months. So that's why I'm not really worried about the team. So that's why I could say the next 2 months are so.
How about the Mets? I saw Big Daddy's video the other night after the Mets.
Did you see his new video today?
No, did I? I don't think so.
He almost got kicked out of a convenience store for doing it.
Really?
Yeah, he was swearing and everything. He got other people. He was going up to people and asking them stuff and swearing at them and stuff. He almost got kicked out of there. I'll be with him tomorrow. Me, Big Daddy, Mario Mancini, and Paul Perez. We're going to be in New York City for Falcon for Habanero Blues. We're actually going to have a big spot in the show. There's going to be matches. We're going to be in the ring. We're going to be talking on the mic. We're going to be doing speeches. We're going to be doing everything. There's going to be food. It's going to be fun. Dom has been around our crew, so you probably know what's going to happen. There's going to be wrestlers there. There's going to be porn stars, actors, celebrities.
Whoa.
Kevin's going, whoa.
Yeah,
Porn stars.
I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to be crazy. Who knows? I might actually end up going to the Yankee game tomorrow because that thing only goes till 6, and the Yankees play at 7:15. So I might just buy a last-minute ticket and go to the game because I'm already going to be in New York City. But we'll find out. So that's going to be fun tomorrow. Falcon 4. There's people coming from all around the country. There's going to be hundreds of people there. They have the whole building rented out.
Porn stars.
Crazy.
3 floors.
Porn stars.
Kevin's just repeating porn stars.
Porn stars. Yes, there's porn stars there. I don't know. Not really shocking in the American League, basically how it's going. With basically the only thing is Minnesota and Cleveland. But we even said on the MLB podcast that they're a sleeper team and probably could take over the Indians.
Yeah, no, the Indians are looking very. They've just been on the decrease every year, and honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if they don't make the playoffs this year.
Ever since they lost to the Cubs.
And then you look at the NL, basically how it's been going. Phillies, we picked to win the NL East. Brewers, we picked them, but they're only a half game out of first place, basically tied. And then Dodgers are just dominant. So basically, MLB is how everyone has thought it was going to go. Basically, the only shocking storyline is just the Twins. That's pretty much it. Maybe the Padres. Padres are a game out of the wild card.
Yeah. They just played the Yankees. They got 1 out of the 3. They played the Yankees pretty well, except the last game. So, yeah, I mean, the Padres, we'll see how they do over the stretch. I mean, the addition to Manny Machado hasn't even been that big of a deal. He hasn't done much.
Now I got to pull up his stats.
I think he's going like 260 something, 9 home runs.
265. 9 home runs, 25 walks, no triples, 7 doubles, 27 RBIs, 50. Yeah. He's doing all right.
Luke Voit and Gary Sanchez have more triples than Manny Machado.
Gary Sanchez.
The MLB is how it's pretty much going to be played out for the rest of the season. So really not much is going to change, which is kind of boring.
Tigers are going to change.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll let Kevin talk for a little bit since people could hear him. So whatever you want to say about the MLB standings, Kevin, the floor is yours. As long as people can hear you,
they can hear
whatever. Right. You and Dom can talk.
All right. Well, yeah, going back to the Twins, they definitely surprised me. I thought they were going to be, worse in the AL Central. That the Tigers were going to be at least 3rd, but the Tigers stinking up, or at least 4th, I should say. But the Tigers just stinking up a mess over there over in Detroit. But yeah, the Twins, I'm really liking the Twins right now. They have the best record in baseball. I think it's huge.
Yeah.
And yeah, but the Yankees too, though. They're sitting at 2nd with that good record, and they persevered through a lot of injuries, especially early in the season. So the Yankees, I think they're probably my favorite because they're doing good right now, even with all the injuries that they have. And I think once they get back to full strength, I think they'll be a deadly force to deal with. So that's my take.
It's so weird because I
It's a good
can't
point.
hear
It's a
This
good
is
point.
so weird because I can't hear anything, and I just see Dom going.
Yep.
I'll be back. I got to get khakis.
Khakis.
All right.
Shoot.
So you look at it, I mean, hey, the Tigers are only 15 games out of the division lead. If they play the Twins 5 more times and sweep them every time, hey, even up to the Twins and make a run.
Here come the Tigers, you know?
I didn't even realize that the Tigers are only down to like 3 healthy starting pitchers. I did not realize that.
The downhill started when Fulmer got hurt. And then, like early in April, I think Zimmerman got hurt. It was in like his 3rd or 4th start. I was like, all right, well, and so now the Tigers have a bunch of bums who are just pitching from the bullpen, and it's just trash. You know, it's hard to watch them. And then really the downfall started when both of our commentators for Fox Sports Story got kicked out for fighting over a chair. So
over a chair.
Yeah, that was really when the downhill started. But yeah, I don't know. The Tigers, there's really just no direction. Like I don't know what they're planning.
All right,
like how Matt said, they are
young.
This
much.
And
talking about the Tigers that are announcing fighting over chairs.
Did you talk anything else about MLB standings?
We talk about the Twins. I said
the Yankees
and the Yankees. He's bringing up about the Yankees a lot.
I'm liking the Yankees.
We talk too much about the Yankees on this podcast.
I mean,
here come the Yankees.
I think they deserve it. I mean, what they're doing.
I mean, yeah, they do deserve it, but I feel like we're too biased on like just Yankee. We talk about a lot of the Yankees. When we did the fall podcast and the winter ones, we talked way too much about the Giants. I mean,
the Giants.
That's why I like having him on here because we could talk about the fucking Tigers.
The Lions,
the Red Wings, whatever the fuck these teams are.
How about the Pistons?
What else am I missing?
Pistons.
Oh, the Pistons.
Those teams. Let's go, baby.
We won't see the light of the playoffs in about 10 fucking years.
Oh, yeah.
You know who needs one more than at the Yankees? Clint Frazier needs to stop being put in right field. He is god awful out there.
He's not that bad.
He sucks, dude. He makes an error at least once a game in right field. He just makes dumb decisions. He's awful. Like DH him if you need to.
Yeah.
How about Michigan State?
Anything else you want to say, Kevin?
I think he's trying to tell Michigan State.
Michigan State.
All right, so we're going to get into the quick pitch. We're going to start with MLB. The Cubs signed outfielder Carlos Gonzalez to a minor league contract. Carlos' career will be out 4 to 6 weeks with a fractured rib. He got it because of his masseuse. That must have been a hard massage.
Yeah.
Must have went where Robert Kraft went. Mets signed outfielder Matt Kemp to a minor league contract. Athletics released relieving pitcher Fernando Rodney. Phillies outfielder Odubel Herrera was placed on administrative leave after domestic assault charge on his girlfriend in Atlantic City, New Jersey at the Golden Nugget.
Dang, I could have been there for it. Shame.
Cardinals moved starting pitcher Michael Wacha to the bullpen. Royals released Michael Yanoa. Nationals shut down starting pitcher Jeremy Hellickson after his shoulder strain was worse than they thought. Tigers infielder Josh Harrison has a partial hamstring tear and will miss 4 to 6 weeks. Very detrimental to the team. Very detrimental.
They almost got Bartolo.
The Nationals signed
Bartolo Colon.
Yeah.
What?
The Tigers almost got Bartolo Colon. There were talks of it.
The Nationals signed relieving. All right, what are we talking about? Because I can actually kind of hear him talking. Probably
That's what said. He said the Tigers are close to getting Bartolo.
Yeah. There were talks.
Yeah, definitely what they need. Nationals signed relieving pitcher Johnny Venters. Cubs are not sure if Ben Zobrist will return for this season. Phillies are looking to bolster their bench in trade talks with multiple teams. Red Sox infielder Dustin Pedroia unsure if he will ever play again. The Braves still have interest in starting pitcher Dallas Keuchel and closing pitcher Craig Kimbrell. Rays also have high interest in starting pitcher Dallas Keuchel and Craig Kimbrell. They've been in talks with them for the past couple months. The Orioles moved starting pitcher Dan Straley to the bullpen. In NBA, we have no fucking news. In our other category, Chelsea won the Europa League title. Martin Truex Jr. won the Coca-Cola 600. Kevin Na won the Fort Worth Invitational at 13 under. Whoever the fuck that is. In NHL news, Oilers hired David Tippett to be their new head coach.
Ain't
In
going matter.
NFL news, even NFL, we have nothing for this week. Broncos and cornerback Chris Harris Jr. agreed to a new 1-year, $12.05 million contract deal for the 2019 season. Saints signed running back Javorius Buck Allen. Raiders signed guard Richie Incognito to a 1-year contract. And in doing so, they released guard Chaz Green to make room. Jaguars
Incognito.
signed wide receiver Terrell Pryor to a 1-year contract.
Ooh.
The Rams signed cornerback Troy Hill to a 2-year, $8.25 million contract extension. Wasn't really an extension. He was already with the team, basically resigned, but he was a restricted free agent, so he really wasn't going anywhere, so it's kind of like an extension. Patriots tight end Ben Watson will be suspended for the first 4 games of the season for drugs. I don't know if it's PEDs or weed.
You know what's crazy?
Weed.
You know what's crazy is the fact that he knew that was probably going to happen, but he hid it from the Patriots before they signed him.
Yeah. I mean, I do the same thing. And last but not least, more big news to end this podcast. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur tore his Achilles playing basketball on Wednesday. He will coach from a cart in OTAs and the rest of the summer.
Attaboy.
That's actually kind of crazy because if he was a player, he'd be out a year. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does in coaching.
Oh, yeah.
Like, during the season, is he going to sit in a fucking wheelchair on the sideline? Are they going to cart him in? You know, what are they going to do? What if he has to go talk to the team in a huddle? He's going to be in a wheelchair. You know what, guys? You know, like, what are you going to do? It's going to look really stupid.
I think last week we ended much better. We had the punter signing.
Punter news signing with the Jets. Matt Darr. That.
Hey, Tennessee alum. University of Tennessee alum.
University of Tennessee alum. That's what Kevin's got to say about Matt Darr.
Yep.
I don't know who the fuck that is, but we had him on the podcast actually. Whatever. I've been trying to get some athletes to come on the podcast. I've been in talks with some people.
I'm an athlete.
Come down to the studio.
Kevin said he's an athlete. He's going to walk on at Michigan State.
He's going to walk on and then walk off.
Yep.
So I'm going to try to get more athletes in the studio at UB, probably have some wrestlers, maybe some other, bigger name people. But we shall see. That's it for today. Make sure you follow Open Table Sports on all social media facets. Just Open Table Sports. That's it. My @ on Twitter is Degnan_Matt. That's DomCaps11. I don't know what the fuck Kevin's
McCormick 19
Kevin,
on Twitter.
You can tell the people. I can't hear you though.
McCormick 19 on Twitter. Kevin MCC5 on Instagram.
We're good. I can talk.
Yeah, you're good. He
dropped it. I can't hear him. I don't know if I'm able to talk or I'm talking over him or whatever. Technical difficulties. I don't know why I could hear Dom, but not him. But that's it for the Open Tables podcast, episode 22. We'll be back. Oh, I don't think we'll be back next week. Next week, I will actually be in Rhode Island for the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame on the 7th and FanFest 7 on June 8th. I will be staying over. I'm actually bringing my dog with me. It depends on what time. We might have to move it up the time of the podcast. We might be starting at 12, maybe 1, depending on what time I'm leaving. I'm probably leaving at like 2. So probably 12, 12:30 would be fine for me. So we're probably on a different early start time next week. So that's it, everyone. Next week is episode 23, the LeBron James episode.
Yes.
The Michael Jordan episode.
Yeah. Draymond Green episode.
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you follow. What did you say?
He said the Draymond Green episode.
Yeah, I hate Draymond Green. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you follow us. Make sure you follow Open Table Sports. Make sure you have a good weekend. Nice weather, depending on where you are, where you're sitting, whatever. Make sure you have a good weekend. Thank you for listening. Au revoir.